Here's a 1,000-word YouTube script for your review video on the 2026 Dodge Ram Vintage Pickup, covering its exterior, interior, performance, and prices in a natural, conversational way without headings. Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a deep dive into one of the most talked about pickups of the year, the 2026 Dodge Ram Vintage Pickup. This truck has been turning heads not just for its looks, but for how it really blends classic charm with modern capability. If you're into trucks that have personality, character, and genuine performance, you're going to want to stick around for this review. Right out of the gate, the first thing that grabs your attention is the exterior. Dodge has taken a bold step by bringing back the timeless design language of classic Ram pickups from the 1970s and 1980s, but reinterpreted it for today's standards. What that means is you get that squared-off silhouette with straight, bold body lines that feel like something your dad or granddad might have driven, but with a sharper, more refined presence on the road. The grille is all chrome with the big Ram lettering front and center, and the round LED headlights sit proudly like they were ripped from a vintage truck catalog, only now they light the road like modern LEDs should. Fender lines are sculpted and muscular, hinting at strength and capability, and depending on the trim you choose, you can get classic two-tone paint finishes combined with heritage badging that make this truck look like a rolling piece of automotive history. Even the wheels are retro-styled alloys, ranging from generous 18-inch sizes up to 20-inch options that fill the wheel arches in all the right ways. There are wood-style accents in the bed on some trims too, which is a nice touch for those who appreciate nostalgia with real functionality. Balloony +1. Out on the road it doesn't just look like a classic, it projects that aura. This vehicle has presence, especially if you go for one of the two-tone heritage packages that harken back to a simpler era of pickup truck styling. But don't let the vintage cues fool you. LED taillights, modern reflector elements, and precise body panel gaps remind you this is built to compete with today's best truck. Stepping inside, the interior continues this blend of old and new in a really thoughtful way. It feels nostalgic without feeling outdated. Dodge designers integrated things like bench-style seating with premium leather or cloth and vintage-inspired stitching, which feels cozy and familiar, but you still get all of the comfort and refinement you expect in a modern pickup. Some trims even offer heated and ventilated front seats, and there's plenty of space in the crew cab for passengers to stretch out. It's definitely comfortable for long road trips or daily driving alike. The dash itself has this cool analog-inspired look with real materials like brushed metal or wood trim that bring that classic vibe into the cabin. But behind those classic cues is modern technology that works, like a centrally mounted touchscreen infotainment system with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, making it simple to stay connected and entertained. There's also a hybrid digital-analog gauge cluster that gives you important info without distracting from the vintage look. The technology fits right in, almost like it was designed to hide in plain sight. Practical storage solutions are built into the cabin too, with thoughtful touches that make this truck not just cool to look at, but easy to live with. Balloony. Now let's talk about what's under the hood, because this is where we see modern engineering shine. The 2026 Ram Vintage Pickup doesn't just dress like a classic. It performs like a serious modern truck. Buyers can choose from a range of engines, including a traditional 5.7-liter Hemi V8 that delivers that muscle truck punch and that iconic exhaust note, all the way up to more efficient and powerful options like Dodge's Hurricane 3.0-liter inline-six engine, which can produce impressive horsepower and torque numbers while still feeling smooth and refined. With these power plants connected to an 8-speed automatic transmission and optional 4WD, you get towing, hauling, and everyday driving capability that matches or even outpaces many competitors in the segment. Towing capacity can be up to around 11,000 pounds depending on configuration, which makes this truck a real workhorse if you need it to be. Behind the wheel, the updated suspension feels composed and comfortable, with solid steering feedback, reduced body roll, and a stable feel at highway speed. On twisty roads or when loaded with cargo, the chassis remains confident and balanced, which is something you wouldn't necessarily expect from a vehicle with such retro styling. In short, it doesn't just look like a classic truck, it drives like a capable modern pickup too. SAR News. One thing I really want to emphasize is that Dodge didn't cut corners when it came to balancing this truck's performance and everyday usability. Ride quality is surprisingly supple, even on rougher surfaces, and the steering feels communicative without being overly heavy. If you're familiar with vintage trucks, you'll know that wasn't always the case back in the day, so this is a really nice evolution. Brake performance is robust too, which helps confidence when towing or hauling, and the truck's modern safety systems, like adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, and lane departure warnings, make highway driving much more relaxing than older pickups ever were. Balloony. Now let's talk price, because that's the reality check for a lot of buyers. The 2026 Dodge Ram Vintage pickup sits in a specialty segment, meaning you're paying for heritage, style, and modern capability all in one package. Starting prices for the base vintage trim are expected to be in the upper $40,000 range, which is competitive for what you're getting considering the design and standard equipment. Step up to the Classic Edition and you're looking closer to the mid-$50,000s, and if you want something with more performance or upgraded appearance packages, you could easily be in the $60,000 territory, especially with optional add-ons like heritage paint schemes or appearance upgrades that dial up that vintage character even more. The Heritage Appearance Package alone could add a few $1,000s, but when you see how it transforms the truck's overall presence, a lot of enthusiasts feel it's worth it. Availability is expected across major markets, with limited edition trims potentially selling out fast if demand stays high. Balloony. So what's the bottom line on the 2026 Dodge Ram Vintage pickup? For anyone who loves classic design but refuses to sacrifice modern performance, comfort, or practicality, this truck is one of the most compelling options on the market right now. It's not just a retro look slapped onto an old platform, everything is re-engineered to meet today's expectations while staying true to the spirit of iconic Ram trucks of the past. Whether you're drawn in by that nostalgic exterior, the comfortable and tech-rich interior, or the robust performance that handles everyday duties with ease, this truck gives you a unique blend that few others in the lineup or on the road can match. Let me know in the comments. If money was no object, would you pick this over a more traditional modern pickup? Or do you prefer the newest, most cutting-edge trucks? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all in the next review.